Hello, I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to look at the astrology for Britney Spears for when she returns to court on September 29th. So Britney Spears is going back to court on September 29th. Basically, the papers that have been filed by her attorney are requesting that her father step down and be removed. He has made his plea in the news and asked Mr. Spears to step down, told Mr. Spears that it would be the right thing to do. Now he's done actual legal motions to force Mr. Spears to be removed via the court. So let's take a look at the astrology for September 29th and just see how astrology is going to tell us what might or might not happen on that day. Let's look at the progressed planets for Britney. It's always good when you're trying to do an actual prediction for a big life event like this to look at the progressed planets. Now, the progressed planet is the way the chart has sort of grown up with you over your lifetime. And the underlying structure of the progressed planets does play a role in how sensitized your chart is to the transiting planets, which are the planets that are moving currently. So it is important, but it's not the whole lay of the land. First things first, she has her progressed moon approaching her progressed midheaven. That's important. Your midheaven is your career, your moon is yourself. The moon also in a chart, especially of somebody who does public work, represents the public and themselves in the 10th house, meaning that the reaction that they have to the public and the reaction that the public has to them is reflected in the way this planet is situated. Next, we have progressed Chiron to natal Chiron. Chiron is healing. So her progressed Chiron is coming up to her natal Chiron, which means that this is a time of great healing or potential for great healing for her. Then we have progressed Mars in the first house with progressed Saturn and Pluto. This is really important. Mars, Pluto, and Saturn are very sensitive planets for Britney in her chart, and they already center on her first house. So this means that she's going to have an underlying feeling of power and strength as she goes into this court date. Next, we have the progressed Jupiter making an aspect to her progressed ascendant. This is also very powerful. Jupiter is also a very sensitive planet for her because she is a Sagittarius. Then we have the progressed Sun approaching the natal Venus. Her Venus is squared to her Saturn in her natal chart, making it a very sensitive planet for her. And with the Sun approaching it, that gives her a lot of power, confidence, and just vitality in general. Also, belief and confidence in her own femininity. Then we have the progressed Venus and the progressed Mercury approaching her natal moon, and a natal moon for any woman is going to be a sensitive placement. So it's very nice that she has Venus and Mercury progressed, which means that their influence lasts for a long time. And this will mean that Britney is feeling much more confident as a mature woman. Now let's look at the actual chart. This is the progressed chart. And as you can see, the green planets around the outside are the progressed planets. And progressed planets, of course, don't move nearly as fast as transiting planets, but they do move. And you can see all of this activity here on her first house. The ascendant is the first house. You can see all of this activity here. You can see that Jupiter is here. Now this is her progressed ascendant, and here's Jupiter close to that. Here's the Sun very close to her natal Venus, and here's the Venus and Mercury very close to her natal moon. So without going into too much detail, I just want to say that this is a good groundwork for Britney to be feeling very feminine, very powerful, very confident on this day. And let's see what else we have in store here. Let's go on to the transits. In her first house, Britney has Mars, Sun, and Mercury touching her natal Pallas Athena, which is an asteroid. Now, Pallas Athena is an asteroid that has to do with wisdom and femininity, but also being connected to one's father, so being a daddy's girl. And even though she had a pretty poor relationship with her father, as witnessed by the Saturn square Sun in her chart, That would also indicate a father who is somewhat absent in one's childhood. She nevertheless has an unending urge to please him and to gain his favor. We also have the sun in the first house, which is giving her a tremendous amount of confidence and energy. We have Mercury and Mars there. So her speech on the day of September 29th may still be rapid like it was back in June, but this time you're going to notice a difference. This time her rapid speech is going to be because she has so many thoughts to get out, and she is so cogent and clear about what it is that she's supposed to be saying that she can't say it fast enough. It's not going to come across as a person who is unstable or giddy or nervous in that way. The only nervousness that you're going to witness with Britney Spears on September 29th is that, like she said in June, she won't be able to finish. But she doesn't have that underconfidence. Now remember, she has a whole legal team behind her now, so they will have prepped her and coached her for this day really, really well. And Britney loves the idea of rehearsal, so she would have taken this to heart. So you're going to see a much different Britney on the stand on September 29th. The transiting Mars, Sun, and Mercury will also have touched her Saturn and Pluto in the first house, and this is a powerful, powerful aspect. This girl is going to come across as a mature, really together woman. You are not going to see a little girl. You're not even going to really see the performer Britney. You're going to see the woman Britney, and that's going to be a big difference. Now, the second house has Venus and Vesta. Venus represents money, but it also is feminine, and it represents your feelings about your feminine aspects of yourself. Vesta is the hearth and home, so that's her family, and this really means a lot to Britney. This is the whole reason that she wants to make money. She wants to perform because she loves performing, but she wants to make money to take care of her family. Vesta is going to be conjoining Jupiter, and this is going to blow up her ability to make money probably for the whole year. She also has an aspect to her progressed Jupiter in the second house, which is also causing that money to blow up in a good way. Now, Jupiter can also work the other way. Not only will you get a lot of money, but she may have a lot of expenses as well. Witness this court case and the fact that up till now she's been paying for everybody. And that's an issue that Matthew Rosengard is going to focus on. Why is Britney having to pay for her father to defend herself against him? That just isn't right. So that issue will also come to the fore on this day, on September 29th, I believe. In her third house, she has transiting Juno, hitting her stellium of Sun, Mercury, Uranus, Neptune, Juno, and Vesta, so natal Juno. So transiting Juno is hitting that whole stellium, which includes her natal Juno. Now, what does this mean? This means that Juno is going to hit those planets one by one, and so you have seen a series of things sparked in the news, and third house has to do with the news. You will see that as Juno hits each of those planets, because they're all at different degrees, they're not just, all in one degree, it will have sparked off the various papers that were filed in the court. You will have, for all of those planets, you would have had separate legal papers and separate news items that were put out to the public. So lots and lots of information has been put out to the public having to do with Britney and her partners. Now, Juno represents your perfect partner, and usually it's referring to a marriage partner. But in this case, it is representing her partner of her legal team or lack of legal team, witness Sam Ingham. And now she has Matthew Rosengard. It's a whole new day with that. But also her father. Her father was acting as a partner of sorts, not an ideal partner. But nevertheless, she has that little issue with Saturn square Venus and also Pallas Athena conjunct her ascendant. So she has this connection with her father that's very hard to give up. And we're going to see as we dig down deeper into the planets for this day that this is going to be very emotional for her. And she's really going to have to steel herself against some of these emotions taking over for that day. Now, we also have in the fourth house transiting Pluto conjunct natal Venus. This is very important for her and very, very powerful that it's happening on this day. This is what's going to allow her to finally break free of her father. Not only will the courts, I believe, allow her to break free, but Britney emotionally will be able to break free. There's one more transit that's coming up that we're going to talk about later. Her natal Venus has a debilitating aspect from Saturn, Saturn representing the father and Venus representing her as a young child. So she has never had an easy relationship with her father, and in fact her father was absent for most of her childhood. So having Pluto come up here and conjunct that natal Venus gives power to the Venus. It gives power to Britney to be able to say, no, what you did to me in the past was wrong, what you're doing to me right now is wrong, and I'm not going to have it anymore. So she is going to be able to break free. Also, Pluto represents something that has to die, has to be lost, has to be sacrificed in order for one to move on. And I think that something is going to be her father. So for the 5th house, we have transiting Saturn conjuncting her natal moon. Now, her natal moon also has some debilitating aspects to it, which is why she's such a people pleaser, in addition to the fact that she's a Libra rising, and they are traditionally people pleasers. But transiting Saturn conjuncting her natal moon is giving her the clear-eyed shrewdness, coldness, ability to withdraw that she's going to need on this day. Nevertheless, she's going to feel this emotionally, and it's going to be difficult for her to get through this day, but she will get through it. This could also temper her speech a little bit and allow her to slow her speech down, especially when she's speaking about things about her maturity and her journey through the conservatorship. So watch for that if we get to see any of this. I don't know if the court's going to allow this to be seen. Then we have the 8th house, Uranus almost conjuncting natal Chiron. Now, I do believe when Uranus actually is conjunct natal Chiron, it will bring about the full-blown healing for her of being completely free of the conservatorship. And remember, right now, the lawyers are not trying to remove her completely from the conservatorship, but getting rid of her father is the first step, and I think this is very, very encouraging. Now, my general analysis, I didn't show it in the slide before, but there is a transit from Pluto to natal Pluto, which basically means growing up is hard and you have to let things go. Pluto is a sacrifice, and she's definitely going to be sacrificing her family in order to move on and get rid of this conservatorship. My general analysis in here, the progressed moon conjunct the progressed midheaven, is that she's got the public behind her all the way. And this may include the courts, that the public and the courts are seeing that she has been done wrong and a justice needs to be made right here. Chiron natal return. Now this is almost happening here, and again with Uranus going into Chiron as well, this is going to be an awakening, a new dawn for her, a new place in her heart to be healed, and she's going to need this healing tremendously after ripping herself away from her family. Sun and Mars transiting the 1st house gives her a lot of energy, a lot of confidence, a lot of power actually. Mercury is conjuncting that natal Pluto. This is what is going to give her words so much power. So you can be sure that she's going to be speaking in court, and when she does, everybody's going to be listening. This is it, the transiting Pluto conjuncting the natal Venus, so powerful, giving her the power of the divine feminine to stand up in court. And isn't justice a female figure, right? So Britney's going to be standing up in court and claiming her independence, claiming what she should have been having for the last 13 years. Transiting moon is also in the 10th house, and this goes along with the first one, with the progressed moon conjunct the progressed midheaven. When the transiting moon is in your 10th house, your career is showcased. Likewise, if the sun is there. If Venus there, it just means you're going to get monetary rewards or maybe just a pat on the back. But moon and sun there means that something powerful is going to be happening for your career. And the moon in this instance represents her and her emotions. Britney loves to perform. She wants nothing more than to get back up on that stage and perform not only songs that she's done in the past, but new material. So I think what you're going to see from her in the future are a lot of songs about balance, justice, the divine feminine, her experience of really growing up It's not going to be another song of, I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. No, she is going to be roaring, baby. She is going to be telling everybody that this is what she is now. And it's a mature woman in control of her destiny. So exciting for her. So my verdict for Britney on the day in court: she's going to prevail. She's going to get rid of her father. Her father's going to be in the dust. But she's going to have a lot of emotional fallout as a result. It is not easy to divorce your family. I've been through one of those, and it's really, really hard on you emotionally. She will heal from it, though. She's got Chiron coming up with a natal return, and also with Uranus coming over it, and she will be inspired. Also with Juno, and I just want to say this really quick because it isn't quite about the court case, but it does have to do about Britney's journey. Juno going through that little stellium of the third house. Juno can represent a marriage partner, and we did recently hear in the news that Sam Asghari was shopping for, we think, a engagement ring. So pretty sure that she's going to be getting married to Sam. Pretty sure that it's going to be a surprise again, just like she did with Kevin and with Justin. Actually, it was all a surprise. She likes this whole surprise thing when it comes to marriage, and because she doesn't want anybody to stop her. She has to keep things secret, because when you're in the public eye like that, when something gets out, you just hear too many voices condemning you or criticizing you, and she just doesn't want to hear it. So I think in court, she's going to prevail. I think in her social and emotional life, she's going to prevail. And I think there's going to be a lot of emotional fallout as a result. Where it goes from here, I do feel that eventually the conservatorship will be disbanded. And I do feel that Matthew Rosengart is going to be very successful in digging out the dirt on Jamie. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have a good shake in this situation, nor does he deserve one. He's been pretty crappy to her. So we'll see what happens with them, and if there's any more court dates in the future, I will try my best to do an astrological analysis about that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.